I will say really quickly on this, Drudge at the top said, like news meltdown, all this other stuff. I mean, I could be completely wrong. We could all be fired a year from now or whenever this happens. You never know what's going to happen.
Or tomorrow.
But...
I really don't understand the festive mood yesterday morning on The Morning John. I think this was one of those situations where they were laughing, where they were joking to cover up the pain. They were trying to use humor, if that's what you would call what we just saw. They were trying to use humor to disguise the fear, the panic that are prevalent right now throughout MSNBC. Yesterday morning, the Wall Street Journal reported that Comcast, they were separating their news division and what they call their entertainment division from the rest of the corporation. Now, this was major news because most people didn't realize that there was anything even remotely entertaining about MSNBC. The only thing entertaining about this network is their latest acquaintance with huge embarrassing failure. According to John Scarborough, Comcast is separating these divisions in an attempt to make them profitable. I'm pretty sure this means MSNBC now has something in common with the WNBA. They're not making any money. Look, I am no expert in business. I have no experience in the mainstream media. But when something major like this happens, when a major corporation uses vernacular like, we have to make these divisions profitable, the first thing that comes to my mind is, whose ass is getting fired? Who is about to lose their job? I mean, it makes sense, right? If a business that historically performs is no longer performing, someone's got to be held accountable. Now, I know that's not the case in New Orleans, where no one's ever held accountable. The weasel Willie Green, he can go 0 for 82, and Gail Benson would give him a contract extension for Christmas along with a new Bible. You're doing a great job, Willard, but my name is Willie. It doesn't matter what your name is. You're the best loser we've ever had. And believe me, we've had a lot of losers here in New Orleans. Matter of fact, I just fired one of them because he had the audacity to win 2 games. For years, MSNBC has ranked second in cable news, and they've been one of the most watched networks on cable. During the Trumpers' first term, when she was balls deep in the illusion of Russian collusion, Rachel Maddow, she was the face of cable news. She had the #1 show in prime time. Super nerd Chris Hayes, he was on the precipice of becoming a star. Even the old guy that comes on at 10, what's his name? Larry O'Connell? Rosie O'Donnell? Who cares? Soon no one will be trying to remember his name because his dumb ass might be fired too. But even the older guy that comes on at 10, he used to pull good ratings. Lately though, ratings at MSNBC, they have been circling the pooper. Things have gotten so bad, MSNBC is now competing with CNN, the Cemetery News Network. They are now competing with CNN to see who will be the biggest, huge, embarrassing failure. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Even though we eradicated the woke fungus a couple of weeks ago, this is not the time for rest and celebration. Just because they lost, that does not mean deacons at Woke United Methodists are just going to go away. But I have got the perfect repellent for those wanting to ensure that the deacons are as far away from them as possible. Let me introduce you to Sugar Mountain Trading's Hillbilly Booty Soap. This right here is Karen's Liberal Tears in the Self-Righteous Scent. This is the perfect bathing soap to keep away the deacons and their self-righteous parishioners. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers big old manly soap for those looking to preserve their toxic masculinity. But one of the best items offered by Sugar Mountain Trading, it is their CBD lotions and oils. No, It ain't THC. This is not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are designed for rapid pain relief. They help increase blood flow, tapping down the pain and lowering inflammation. Basically, it allows your body to get out of danger mode and into healing mode. My wife, she used some of the CBD massage oil on her back last week. She felt better almost instantly. Plus, it also helps the hands of the one giving her the massage, me. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, they are 100% natural and 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Like I told you guys yesterday, Deacons at Woke United Methodist, they have organized a boycott against John Scarborough and Mika Bazooka along with the rest of MSNBC. The Deacons were pissed off because after years of claiming that Donald Trump was the modern day Adolf, after years of claiming that the Trumper was a fascist, a racist, a misogynist, every other ist you can think of, Mika Bazooka and John Scarborough, they basically admitted to their audience that they were lying. They're full of shit. They admitted to spending the weekend with the Trumper, weekend at Donnie's, where they played golf and reopened the lines of communication. The Deacons, they were immediately outraged by this admission, and they organized a protest. Now, as you guys know, if there is one thing that the Deacons love almost as much as the woke wiener, it's an organized protest. Doesn't matter what it is, they will protest anything. This is the same group that protests the weather. When it's snowing outside, they blame the natural gas heating your home. That damn gas, it's destroying the ozone layer and allowing the snow to reach the atmosphere. When spring transitions to the miserable summer, they organize protests around climate change. They claim cows farting in the fields of Iowa are causing nationwide heat waves. When you tell them that it's hot every summer in the South, they call you a denier. Now, of course, they never explain what you're denying. They also fail to hold themselves accountable for the dangers of climate change. You know how many dangerous emissions are in the air when they are grilling the woke wiener? But they never hold themselves responsible for that. Normally, boycotts and protests organized by Deacons at Woke United Methodist are 100% ineffective. The only time I remember one of their protests making an impact, it was the summer of woke love in 2020. Remember all those riots? Peaceful protest, when they were protesting mythical racism, when they were putting dudes in tuck-friendly bathing suits and parading them around in the street, demanding that they be included in the next swimsuit edition. That's the only time I remember a protest being effective. Because of the summer of woke love, we dealt with 4 years of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Then real Americans got tired of the bullshit. I am a real American. Real Americans got tired of the bullshit. Real Americans realized that they were being overlooked by companies looking to meet their diversity quota. And they defeated the first DEI presidential candidate in a landslide. So, the protests in 2020 were effective because it was the beginning of the end of the woke movement. Like I said, that is the only organized protest that I remember being effective until now. This week, the Deacons, they organized a boycott against MSNBC. And surprisingly, it worked. Mika Bazooka and John Scarborough, they usually average over 1 million viewers every morning on The Morning John. Tuesday morning, 24 hours after admitting their weekend at Donnie's, the Bazooka and Johnny Scar, 680,000 viewers. They went from over 1 million viewers in July to 680,000 in November. But the problem for MSNBC, it's not just The Morning John that's seeing ratings in the pooper. The entire network is circling the drain. This week, super nerd Chris Hayes, he drew his smallest audience in the last 10 years. Apparently, some doofus named Chris Jansing hosts a daytime dump at MSNBC. This week, he set record low ratings in the 25 to 54 demo. He drew the smallest audience in the history of the show. Well, Casey, what about the Wicked Weave Joy Reid? I bet her ratings are great! Unfortunately for our bundle of joy, her hair isn't the only thing that she seems to be losing. Over the summer, the artist formerly known as Weave, she was averaging 1.3 million viewers. Leading up to the election, Joy Reid, she was seeing a massive growth in the ratings. There were nights where our bundle of joy was eclipsing 2 million viewers. But over the past couple of weeks, Joy Reid has that number down to a cool 800,000. I know we have talked about ratings at MSNBC several times this week, but have you noticed that we have barely mentioned CNN? Have you wondered why? Well, for starters, I haven't really checked for CNN's ratings because they don't have ratings to lose. CNN's ratings were already atrocious. For years, they have had nowhere to go but up. And yet somehow they still see declines. Crashing ratings at CNN, that is no longer a major headline, it's just the norm. The reason why MSNBC is such a big story is because of the reason for their ratings decline. Now, some in the media are claiming that it's viewer fatigue. They're claiming that MSNBC viewers are upset because they lost the election and they're taking a break from the news. They are taking a break from politics. And in their defense, I'm sure that's part of it. But if that was the only reason, there wouldn't be this sense of panic at the network. There wouldn't be this fear that jobs were now on the line. Viewer fatigue, that's temporary. If it was just viewer fatigue, everything would be fine after the holidays. But MSNBC has a much bigger problem because it's not viewer fatigue that is causing these declines. MSNBC viewers, which are 97% woke, they no longer trust the network. Mika Bazooka and John Scarborough spending the weekend at Donnie's, that has destroyed their credibility with Woke United Methodist. Mika and John did the one thing that you can never do as a content creator or as a broadcaster. Mika and Joe turned their backs on their audience. Their audience realized they were full of shit. Their audience realized they were being lied to. All that shit about the Trumper being a fascist, the Trumper being the modern day Adolf, their audience realized they were lying. And once that happens, it is damn near impossible to recover. MSNBC, they're going to have to clean house. Same thing that I have been saying for years about CNN. Said this, 3 years ago with CNN? If your network has a chance of survival, you have got to fire on-air talent. CNN refused to listen. How'd that work out for them? If MSNBC doesn't want to become the next CNN, they have got to get Joy Reid off the broom and use the broom to clean house. Now, are they willing to do that? Is MSNBC willing to fire people and start over? You tell me, will there be layoffs at MSNBC? Would that be enough to restore some level of credibility at the network? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.